is on
All
you,
right,
Megan.
Felicia, thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Megan with Sawgrass. If you want to go ahead in the chat and just let me know, who you are, where you're from, and if you've taken one of these classes before, because I want to know how much detail I should really go into here. If we have a lot of new people, I'll make sure to give a lot more in-depth information. If it's a lot of people who have been here before, we can breeze through it a little bit quicker so we can have time for your questions. So regardless, we'll get to as many questions as we can. I'll answer them live. We also have Jimmy, who is our education expert on the back end here, who will be able to answer them in the chat as well. So thanks so much all for tuning in. All right, and I will be monitoring your questions on a little monitor over here. So if you see me reach over there, that's what I'm doing. So while everybody is getting into the class and telling me where they're from and so on, a reminder that this is the project we will be making today, because believe it or not, back to school is coming up sooner than we think. At least prepping for back to school is coming back soon. Parents, I know it's sad for you guys. I know. So we are going to be making a tote bag for a teacher. We'll be making this using our EasySubli inks with EasySubli Vinyl in our creative studio. We have Mary in the chat from California, new to the class. Mimi from Bronx. Newbie is Nancy from New York City. So hi, everyone. So it looks like we have some newbies here. So I'm going to make sure that I go into a little bit more depth so that everybody has a full understanding not only of how to make this project, but what sublimation is. So let's dive in and get started. So the first thing we need to do here is make our design. We're going to go to sawgrassink.com. That's our website, sawgrassink.com. We'll then click on Creative Studio. Creative Studio is our design software. It's made by Sawgrass. It is designed to work directly with our Sawgrass printers and our Sawgrass inks. So I'll click on Start Creating. And in this design platform, we have hundreds of blank templates you can use to design on. And we also have a bunch of designs, both free and premium designs that you will have access to. Today, we'll be working with a premium design. So I'm going to start by getting my blank design canvas. I'm going to go to Design Canvases, and then I'm going to go to page 5. That's where our 8.5 by 11 portrait sheet is. Now we're working with EasySubli Vinyl. This is a portrait size, 8.5 by 11 portrait size sheet of vinyl, which is why we're going to select that. Now I'm going to go to Designs. And as I said before, we're working with back to school. So I'm going to go to our Education folder. So I'm going to scroll down till I see our premium education folder. And these are all of our new designs that we recently put into our creative studio. I'm going to select the Teaching is a Work of Heart design. And for this project, there's nothing else we have to do for this because this is a design that's already been made. For this class, since we do have quite a few newbies, I want to dive into more about sublimation in general and the difference between traditional sublimation as opposed to EasySubli Vinyl sublimation instead of really diving into designing. So that's why we have a really easy design that's already pre-made for premium users. So I have my design. If I want to resize this at all, I can click Select All and tug here and there to resize it. I think this is about the size that I want. And I'm going to select Unselect All. So now this design is already done. It is ready to go. So I'm going to go up to Print. And here is where we have to start more or less customizing, because this program, this is our Sawgrass Print Manager. It lives within our creative studio and it talks directly to the printer. The way we like to see it is the computer, it speaks computer. The printer, it speaks printer. Sawgrass Print Manager is basically a translator. It helps the printer know what design is going through to it from the computer and what amount of ink it should put down for that design. It's important to note that our Sawgrass Print Manager is free to download. It's on our website. So if you have a Sawgrass printer, you can download it for free so it can work with whatever software you're using. Now, Creative Studio is also free to access. And if you want premium, you can purchase a premium membership. So we have our Sawgrass Print Manager pulled up. It's already reading the printer that I have plugged in. The page size is US letter because, as I said before, our EasySubli Vinyl is a US letter size. Now, here is the tricky part. Mirror. So for normal sublimation, if you are familiar with sublimation, normal sublimation deals with polyester or polymer-coated items. So when doing traditional sublimation, it works best with polyester garments, or say a mug that's been coated in polymers. That's because of the science behind sublimation inks. Sublimation inks bind to polymers. You can think of those polymers as a flower. What's going to happen is when you use the proper time, temperature, and pressure on your sheet of sublimation paper onto, say, a t-shirt that's polyester, when the pressure and the heat is applied to that design at the right temperature, the polymers in the t-shirt start to open up and the ink starts to go in those polymers. Now, when you pull that heat away, the polymers close up around the ink, trapping the design in the surface. That's how traditional sublimation works, which is why we say 100% polyester, that's light colored, because those inks are transparent and will take on the hue of the shirt or mug or whatever it is that is the base color of your item. Now, because for traditional sublimation, you are putting your piece of paper face down on your product, you want to have it mirrored, because when those polymers close and you pull that t-shirt back, the design will be looking at you. So you want to print your design mirrored. Now, EasySubli Vinyl is different. EasySubli Vinyl is our workaround to be able to sublimate onto cotton or dark colors, because what we're doing is we are printing directly onto the vinyl. So we're going to take that vinyl, we're going to cut out our design, and we're going to place the vinyl on top of our product, and then use heat to secure that vinyl to our product. So when we are working with EasySubli Vinyl, we don't have to mirror our item because we're printing directly on our vinyl and we're picking it up and we're placing it back down onto something else. So for this project, since we are using our EasySubli Vinyl, we do not have to mirror our design. So mirror is not going to be clicked here. Now, I said before that the computer is talking to the printer. It's telling the printer how much ink to lay down. And we're doing that by selecting the proper material. So for this, we have heat transfer vinyl that we're working with. We are telling the printer, hey, make sure you put down the right amount of ink for this material so that it's not oversaturated or undersaturated. And finally, we have to choose our color mode. Now we have two color modes you can select, photographic or vivid. Now photographic, pretty much what it sounds. When selecting photographic, that's for a photo, because it helps to regulate skin tone colors. Now, this is not a photo, this is a graphic design. So we will use vivid because it'll help those colors pop against each other. So we're going to select vivid. Now, everything's lined up. We're telling our printer exactly what we want it to do, and we're going to click print. And now what's going to happen is the Sawgrass Print Manager is going to start to think, and a secondary screen is going to pop up. And in that screen, we would have the ability to customize our print even more. Make it maybe do multiple prints or multiple different types of prints. For this project, we do not need to do that. So we are just going to click print when it pops up. And sometimes you just, if it's not popping up right away, you just have to close out of your SPM and then just quickly log back in. See, my sign up thinking, there we go. I just plugged into this printer before we got on here together, so had to give it a little bit of wake-up call. All right, so now the SPM secondary screen should be popping up. And as I said before, we will click print from there. And I have a feeling I might have selected the wrong printer. Give me 1 second here. Yeah. Part of the thing too is if you have multiple printers, make sure that you are selecting the proper printer, because what's going to happen is that SPM, even though you're only plugged into one, it will still have all the other printers on there that you could potentially select from. That's because some of them are hooked up through Wi-Fi and some through USB. So make sure that you're selecting the proper printer when you are working with this, if you have more than one. If you don't have more than one printer, not an issue. And Felicia, thank you very much for putting in the comments. A reminder that this class is being recorded, and within the next 24 to 48 hours will go on the Michael's YouTube channel. So you can watch it there if you would like. So here we go. That secondary screen has popped up. So now I'm going to hit print. And it's going to right now start talking to the printer. And that information is going to be read, and it's going to pop out via that EasySubli Vinyl. Now, really important to note, and it's a little bit loud, but I'm going to try to talk over the printer. When printing on EasySubli Vinyl, when you're loading the vinyl into the printer, you want to make sure the plastic side is up. When you're printing with traditional sublimation paper, you want to make sure the shiny side of the paper is down. So, traditional sublimation, shiny side down. Say that 3 times fast. When working with EasySubli Vinyl, plastic side up. That's how you need to properly load it in, otherwise it will print on the wrong side. So, here's a question for you. What is the difference between this bag and this printout? And I need someone to answer me in the chat, and not Jimmy Lamb. Jimmy, don't answer the question. What is the difference between this design and this design? Aside from the fact that one is way larger than the other and needs to be resized. I will wait for someone to answer, and I will reprint this in a slightly smaller size. So, what is the difference? Ah, Nancy. Nancy said color. Nancy, you are very smart. Kudos to you. We have no prizes, but if we had one, you would get one. You get the pride of being right. So, yes, it is the color, because when sublimation designs print, whether they are on vinyl or whether they are on traditional sublimation paper, it's always going to be light, very light and very dull. Now, that is totally normal and to be expected. That's because when sublimation inks print, they're going to be dull, because it takes the proper time, temperature, and pressure applied to that design and that item together for those colors to pop. So if you get a printer and you're like, wait a second, my colors, they don't look right. That's okay. Press the item first. And make sure you're pressing at the proper time, temperature, and pressure, because every item that you work with is going to have a varying degree of time, temperature, and pressure. For example, a polyester shirt, best pressed at 385 degrees for 45 seconds. A ceramic mug, best pressed at 400 degrees for 5 minutes. It all varies depending on what you work with. So if you do get a printer, I would highly recommend that whatever company you buy your blanks from, that you ask them what the proper time, temperature, and pressure is. A lot of these companies will have guidelines on their websites that you can refer to for more information so you get the proper press. So here, pay no attention to the guy behind the curtain over here, this is our printout, the proper size. So now what we need to do is we first need to dry it, because you can't tell from here, but this is wet and it has the potential to smudge. So what I'm going to do is place it in my heat press and hover my heat press on top of it. Hover is really important. You don't want to clamp down on this, otherwise it's going to start sublimating and you're going to end up with a heat press that has an apple on it, which no one wants because it could potentially transfer to your next item. So the reason why we are hovering our heat press over this is because it is wet. If you touch it, it's going to smear. You're going to have little fingerprints all over it. If you run it through the cutter, it's going to smear from the blade. So we want to just quickly dry these inks. Now, it is best to hover at 311 degrees for a minute. Do not try to take shortcuts and say, oh, well, you know, if I hover it at 350 degrees, I can hover it for less than a minute and cut down on time. No, because this is a heat transfer vinyl, which means that the glue on the back of it will begin to activate quickly once the heat is ramped up on top of it. How do I know this? Because I've made the mistake. I've lived, I've learned, I've done it on a live in front of a lot of people. It was embarrassing. Don't do it to yourself. So 311 for a minute, we're going to hover it. And what you'll notice is once we pull this out, the colors are already going to start to be brighter because some heat has been applied to it. It's not going to look like the bag, but it will start to look brighter. And Jimmy made a good point here. He said it should be noted you only have to dry vinyl prints. When working with traditional transfer paper, you do not need to dry it. Yes, that is correct. So we only do this for EasySubli Vinyl, not for traditional sublimation. Okay, so this should be good to go. So the colors are a little bit brighter now. And what we're going to do is now we're going to run this through our cutter. So we don't have any currently direct integration between us and, say, Silhouette, but we have a workaround, and that is our PixScan sheets. What we're going to do here is place this sheet of vinyl on top of our PixScan sheet. Now, some of you may be vinyl workers in this group. Raise your hand if you've ever dealt with a PixScan sheet, but don't actually raise it in person because I can't see you. Jimmy, I can see you, unfortunately. So in the comments, let me know if you've ever worked with a PixScan sheet before and what your best pieces of advice are. I have some myself, but I'd like to hear from other people. And you're all very quiet and I want to make you talk. So while I place this vinyl on here, there we go. Make sure all the sides are secured. And Felicia has put down the PixScan mat and where you can find it on the Michael's website in the chat. It is worth noting that everything we're working with here, aside from the heat press, is from Michael's and can be found either in store or online at Michael's Arts and Crafts. So we have our vinyl stuck to our PixScan sheet. No one has answered my question, which I'm going to assume means that no one's worked with a PixScan sheet, which is totally fine. So when working with a PixScan sheet, what we're going to do is take a picture of this, and then we're going to upload it into Silhouette Studio. Now, some of the best advice I can give you when working with a PixScan sheet is to make sure you are in a well-lit area and to make sure that when you take a picture of this mat, that you get the entire mat in the photo and that you are hovering over it at a good distance. Also really important to make sure that you do not have a shadow in it because the silhouette will start to pick up that shadow and want to cut that shadow out. So I'm going to push this aside, lay down my mat. take out my phone, hover over this, and I have a little bit of a shadow here, so I'm gonna move my laptop. Wow, it's a great picture. I'm gonna go up to my close-up camera here and see if you guys can get a look at the photograph. And this is ideally what it should look like when you're working with a PixScan sheet. So thank you, Sebastian. Sebastian's our intern on the back end here, helping out. Don't mind the cracks on my phone. And so what we're going to do is email this to ourselves. So I'm going to go to my Gmail and I'm going to email this to myself, and then I'm going to post it. I'm going to save it to my desktop. Here we go. So I'm going to quickly save this. And now I'm going to open up Silhouette Studio. Here we go. And Silhouette Studio is opened up. So now I have to import this. So I'm going to go to my right-hand toolbox and click on the PixScan sheet. Go to Import. Grab the image from my desktop. Continue. Continue. And now it's loaded in. And I'm going to plug in my Cameo. I can only have one plugged in at a time. There we go. And now what we need to do is tell Silhouette Studio where on this sheet it needs to start cutting. So I'm going to go to my trace panel. I'm going to do select trace area, and I'm going to draw a square around this apple. And as you can see, it automatically filled in from the center of our design to the edges where it thought it needed to cut. And it did a great job, and it's actually exactly how it's supposed to be. Now, you might be wondering, well, how come teaching is a work of art is not in yellow? Is the Silhouette going to cut that out? And the answer is no, because the way the Silhouette reads the PixScan sheet and our EasySubli Vinyl, it sees any white in the middle of our design as part of the design, as it's supposed to be, because that's how we've designed it. So it will cut just around the edges, which is what we want. So I'm going to click Trace and Attach. And it's hard to see now, but there is a faint red line all the way around our design. So if I press Send here, you get a better look at it. That's a more distinct red line. So now we are ready to cut. So I'm going to take my PixScan mat and place it in my cutter and load it in. And now I'm going to press Send. And the cutter's loud, so I'm gonna let it do its thing, and I'm not gonna try to talk over it. So now it's done cutting, and I'm going to unload it. from my Cameo. As you can see, it's here. So now I'm ready to start weeding. And now if you're a traditional vinyl user, you know that weeding can be a mix of fun and stressful. This is so easy because we are weeding just one sheet of vinyl. Now, take a look at this design. If we were to do this with traditional vinyl, it would take 1, 2, 3, 4 different colors of vinyl, which means it would take 4 different layers to get done. In this case, it's one sheet of vinyl and one layer and very little weeding. So I'm going to go ahead and start weeding this. I'll take my hook and I'm just going to grab a corner and peel it away. One rip, that's all it takes. So now this is my design after it's been weeded, and now it's ready to go to be pressed. So there is a little bit of advice I'm going to give, and it's not necessary as I've tested it both ways, but I personally, when using something like a tote bag, because they have straps that are sewn on, and because I know some of them have zippers, this one doesn't, but because there are straps that are sewn on, it's a little thicker in some areas than in others, which means that it has the potential to kind of throw off our heat press and give us an uneven press. Obviously, to make sure this design sticks the right way, we want an even press. So I have here a foam kit. Now this foam kit is just going to be placed inside of this bag, and it's going to raise the center of the bag that I want my design to be pressed on higher than the edges where it's sewn thicker. And this is just going to give me a more even press. Again, you don't have to do this. I would just recommend it. So what I'm going to do is put my foam kit inside of my bag. Again, in the area that I want pressed. Pull out my drawer here. There we go. You can see it's raised above the sewn area. And now I'm going to take off my design from its plastic backing. There we go, all one sheet. So now I'm going to place this onto my bag in the area that I want it. And now it's time to press. I'm going to slide this back in my heat press. And woo, I almost forgot something really important. Our blowout paper. So this is newsprint paper. You can find this at basically any craft or hardware store. But the main purpose of this blowout paper is just to keep your platens of your heat press clean, because there is some residual ink on here. So put that down, slide this in, and loosen up my pressure a little bit. And press. So we are pressing this at 311 degrees for 15 seconds. 311, that is the magic degree for working with EasySubli Vinyl. 2, 1. Pull out our drawer. And there you go. I'm going to take out this foam kit here. But this is our end result design. Again, this is not a polyester bag. This is a cotton bag. So we use the EasySubli Vinyl to be able to adhere the cotton to it and able to adhere this design to it. So with traditional sublimation, this would not be possible because this is not polyester. But because of the EasySubli Vinyl, this is possible for us. So there we go, it's on there. It is not coming off. So the cool thing about this too is it kind of takes on the texture of the bag in the back. So even though it's not technically part of the coating, it looks and feels as if it is, which I find really cool. So this is our design. This is our end product, a bag for a teacher before back to school. Now we have quite a bit of time left. So who has questions? I would love to answer any questions that you may have. While you sit there and think about what questions you may have, I will let you know that we do live videos all the time. We are live on our Facebook page, normally on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Because of this live today, we moved this week's live to tomorrow. So we will be live on Facebook tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So you can catch us there. We do lives with Michael's generally once a month, sometimes more. So you can sign up for more lives if you'd like. I think we have 2 lives set for next month. I think they're probably already on the Michael's page for sign up. So yes, be sure to follow us on all social media platforms. We are at Sawgrass Ink. That's at Sawgrass INK on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube. YouTube has a bunch of little short instructional videos along with longer videos. Facebook, usually Jimmy joins me and we have a little bit of fun on Facebook. We also have a podcast. It's called Ink Differently, where we talk to sublimation business owners and other crafting business owners about what they've done and how they've become successful. Our Ink Differently podcast can be found on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, and SawgrassInk.com. That's Ink Differently. And also be sure to follow Michael's on all social media platforms. And if you make this project or really any other project that you've seen on the Michael's Zoom channel, be sure to hashtag it, make it with Michael's and Michael's classes. We'd love to see what you make and your rendition on these projects. So, any other questions before we go? I'd love to help. If you have a Sawgrass printer and are experiencing any problems or have any questions, you can contact our support team on our support site. That is supportdesk.sawgrassink.com. supportdesk.sawgrassink.com. They can help you out there. I run the Facebook page, so you can message us on Facebook, and I'd be happy to help you. All right. So if there are also, I almost forgot something important. If you are interested in learning more about sublimation, you can also go to our Sawgrass Academy. That is free for you. It is accessible at academy.sawgrassink.com. You can also find it at sawgrassink.com in the top header bar labeled Academy. There we have classes for free that you can take to learn more about sublimation. We have everything from the basics of sublimation to how to use our products to Jimmy has what he calls Business Builder, where there are all different videos on how to make a business using sublimation. We also have our Michael's classes there as well. So different ways you can access the Michael's classes and more information about sublimation. And again, this video will be live, not live, but it'll be accessible on the Michael's YouTube channel within the next 24 to 48 hours if you'd like to watch it or share it with somebody else. If we don't have any questions, then I guess I will let you all go and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. So thank you all so much for joining us, and we will hopefully see you next class, which I believe is the beginning of August. So thank you all so much. And Felicia, thanks so much for your help. And Jimmy.